Good morning, students. Take out your English book, lesson number 3, Henri, the Red Cross Hero 2. When Henri Dunant returned to Geneva, he was a completely changed man. He forgot all about the plans he had made for his future career, but he recalled day and night the horrors of the war that he had seen at Solferino, and thought all the time about how the terrible sufferings of the people in such wars could be lessened. As a result of his tireless efforts, the Swiss government was moved to call a conference of several nations to discuss his proposals. Within a few years, a new society called the Red Cross Society was born. It was given this name because its symbol was a white background with a red cross on it. Now I'm going to explain this paragraph. When Henri Dunant came back to Geneva, he was a totally changed man. He forgot all about the plans which he had made for his future, and he remembered day and night the horrors of the war which he had seen at Solferino, and he thought all the time about the terrible sufferings of the people in such wars could be minimized. As a result of his tireless effort, the Swiss government moved to a conference or meeting of several nations to discuss his proposals. Within a few years, a new society was formed or born, and its name was Red Cross Society. Now we'll go to next paragraph. The countries which took part in the conference came to an agreement about certain important matters connected with warfare. They knew that wars between nations could not be stopped by such an agreement, but all them realized that much of the unnecessary sufferings caused by such wars could be made less painful. Nations were expected to take care of and serve who were wounded and were in acute pain. To whichever side they belonged, it was agreed that hospitals and ambulances were not to be attacked. The prisoners would be exchanged wherever possible, and that the place where the Red Cross flag was flown would be regarded as a neutral zone. A neutral zone was a place which was on neither side of the war. Those countries who took part in the conference, they came to an agreement about the matters of warfare. They knew or understood that wars between countries could not be stopped by such an agreement. But they realized that the unnecessary sufferings could be made less painful. Countries were expected to take care and serve who were wounded and were in great pain, to whichever side they belonged. It was agreed that hospitals and ambulances were not to be attacked, and the prisoners would be exchanged wherever possible, that the place where the Red Cross flag was flown would be regarded as a neutral zone. Now, a neutral zone means a place which was on neither side of the war. Within a short time, Red Cross societies were formed all over the world. Eminent men and women with a desire to do social service joined the movement. In South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi, who was then 37 years of age and a leader of the Indian community in that country, became a Red Cross volunteer. It was in a war known as the Boer War that Gandhiji served the wounded. Soon there was a move to make the very young realize the importance of the movement, and so the Junior Red Cross came into existence. Within a very short time, Red Cross societies were formed all over the world, and many men and women, those who had desire to do social service, joined the movement. In South Africa, Mahatma Gandhi, who was 37 years of age at that time and a leader of Indian community in South Africa, became a Red Cross volunteer. It was in a war known as the Boer War that Gandhiji served the wounded person. After some years, Junior Red Cross Society was also formed or born. But as the Red Cross movement began to spread far and wide, its hero Henri lost whatever fortune he had. He had spent most of his money on it, neglected his business, and lived for 30 years more without being known as the founder of the movement. The world thought that he was dead. But as the Red Cross movement began to spread or became popular far and wide, Henry Donant lost all his fortune. Fortune means a large amount of money. He had spent most of his money on it, neglected his business. Neglected means failed to care for properly, and lived for 30 years more without being known as the founder of movement. And he lived for more than 30 years without being known as the founder of Red Cross movement. The world thought that he was dead. The world thought that now Henry Donant is no more. He is dead. But one day he was seen in a little Swiss village by a young journalist. Soon people came to know that the man who created the Red Cross movement was still alive. They now rushed to him with money and help. But Henry refused to accept anything. He had learned how to live a very simple life. But one day, in a village of Switzerland, a very young journalist means a person who writes for newspaper or magazines or prepares news to be broadcast on radio or TV. Soon people came to know that man who created the Red Cross movement was still alive, and they rushed, means came to him, and they gave money and help. But Henry did not take money and help from them. He refused it. He had learned how to live a very simple life. Now he had learned how to live a simple life. However, when the Nobel Prize was started, the first prize in 1901 was given jointly to Henri Donant and a Frenchman who was a leader of a French peace organization. But Henri, our hero, gave away the prize money to the cause of the Great Red Cross movement. However, when the Nobel Prize was started, the first prize in the year 1901 was given to Henri Dunant and a French leader for peace. But Henri didn't take the money. He gave all the prize money to the cause of the Great Red Cross movement. Now, for today, this story is over.